Welcome to The Authentic Life with KL, the podcast where we throw out the rule book, where we dive in head first to the real and raw, unapologetic journey of living the best life. That includes lots of music. This is your go-to space for empowerment, for deep healing and owning your authenticity like the boss that you are. We're here to break down walls and slay self-doubt. Vibe to the soundtrack of your soul. With every beat and lyric, we'll move through stories that heal and empower. You can live your fullest and most badass life. Welcome to The Authentic Life with KL. Hey guys, it's Kitty, and today on The Authentic Life with KL, I have Aaron, Joseph, and Mike from the band Reject the Silence. These guys write about some very difficult mental health topics, but their lyrics are filled with passion and absolute authenticity. This is a trigger warning for sensitive topics that will be discussed during this podcast, such as suicide and mental health. Before I dive in, I love to ask this question: what is something about you that most people may not know about you, just to kind of get to know you a little bit more? So Aaron, we're going to start with you.
I know. I'm put on the spot. I don't know. I'm pretty open book. Everyone
You had
pretty
all week
much
for this,
knows
Aaron.
everything. Everyone knows everything about me. Everyone important knows everything about me, that is. But I guess if somebody looked at me and they wouldn't know I like to cook.
You like to cook? You like to cook?
Yeah.
Joe, do you have anything that's something people may not know?
Yeah. So I moved back to Ohio. I used to live in South Carolina for about 12 years. And when I was down there, my kids were young. So what most people don't know about me when I came back here is I used to coach Pony League baseball, believe it or not.
That's interesting.
You did that?
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
See, that's why we do
We got
this.
3 baseball players in the band.
I did play a guitar in a band for 13 years before I started playing drums for these guys.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you do any side projects, or is this your main focus right now?
Oh, this is my main focus. I don't have time to do anything else.
Just no. So
I get asked all the time. I just tell everybody no.
Yeah. Well, they probably are going to hold you to that.
I'm sure.
Is there a story behind the name Reject the Silence?
Aaron?
Yeah. Actually, it came out of we were actually called Dead But Rising before we were Reject the Silence, and it was after a Volbeat song. I just like the phrase Dead But Rising, kind of like a rising from the ashes of the phoenix type of situation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Craig hated it, so he insisted we change it, and Reject the Silence came up. And after, when you name your band nowadays, you do all the Google searches and everything like that, and we discovered that it was a seriously large suicide awareness and mental health movement.
Mm-hmm.
And we were totally on board with getting our name attached to something like that,
Is there a turning point? We'll start with you, Aaron. A turning point in your life that you knew that you wanted to dive into music, or has it been something that you've just been passionate about from the get-go?
My whole life I've been wanting to do music. From the time I was 8 years old, my grandpa showed me a couple chords on the guitar, and ever since then I always wanted to do music. I didn't know I wanted to sing until I was well into my 30s. So that was kind of an interesting surprise. But yeah, music, and I think it is like that with most musicians. It's something, you hear something that rings a chord and that's it. It's a firing gun off the gate.
Yeah. Joe, do you have a story behind it? Has it been something that's just always been with you?
Oh yeah. I've always been inspired by music ever since I was young enough to listen to it. Because my dad was a very good acoustic guitar player, and I just watch him for hours as he would play. Now, of course, he doesn't play much anymore, but we always try to get him back playing and stuff like that. But he was, at a very early age, he was an inspiration to me. And then, he introduced me to a lot of the good old music like Rush and Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and all those good bands. But as time went on, I just kept getting more interested into like drumming and then particularly bass guitar. When I was younger, I was like, man, I want to be in a band and play bass. And they're like, man, everybody wants to play guitar. Why do you want to play bass? Nobody wants to play bass. So I'm like, yeah, I'll show you one day. And here I am. So, and I was, well, I learned.
They catch a lot of crap, I know.
Oh, yeah. We're the whipping boys of the band. I get it. It's all good, though. But yeah, I was in drum corps for a number of years when I was younger. That's where I really learned about, timing and tempo and reading music and things like that. And that just kind of propelled me into that direction. And I just never really put it down. So always been doing it.
That's just part of who you are.
Thank you.
First, Joe, why did I not know you were in drum corps? Why don't you help me write drum parts to some of the shit that you bring to the band?
I waited for this very moment to tell you the good stuff.
No shit. He lets
along.
me and Craig fucking talk like we do, just talking like we're stuttering or something. We want you to do it.
I gotta tell you, when we're at practice, when these guys get talking, it's like, okay, it's time to go. So, but yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine myself being in any other group right now because I think we just all mesh together well. We all gel together, and we all have the same agenda. We want to write good music, and we have a good positive message to portray. So,
right.
Yep.
I want to.
You asked me a question, didn't you?
You want to take over the world? Me too.
All right, so I don't think I answered your question. I just kind of started yelling at Joe for not telling me more about himself.
I love that. Now you know you've been secretly judged the whole time. He's judging all this.
That's good. Hey, tomorrow night at practice, you get to sit behind my kit and show me what you can do.
All right, I'm down for that.
All right, so it's kind of weird that I ended up being in music at all because nobody else in my family is musicians. They, my mom and dad were big into sports. All of my uncles did sports. Nobody did anything musical related. So it wasn't until I was 15 or 16. I was working my first job at Marco's Pizza, and one of the guys that I worked with played guitar. And the one day I went over to his house after work, and he started doodling around with it a little bit, and he was really good, and I thought it was cool. And I was like, oh, that'd be something that looked like it'd be kind of fun to do, but I never really thought anything of it after that. And then one day I was listening to the radio, and they were doing old school thrash metal, and Master of Puppets came. And I heard the guitar riff in that song, and that made me go, holy shit, that was awesome. I want to do that.
Yes.
I want to learn how to play music now. So I begged my parents for a guitar for Christmas, and I got one. And I think I played guitar every day for like the next 3 years. And
support you in doing that after you got the guitar, support you in your journey?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, not so much at first, because I started playing music so much, I kind of started getting away from playing baseball and running cross country.
Yeah.
Because I was having more fun playing music than I was playing sports. So once that's all started happening, I started, getting better at what I was doing. And once I realized, hey, I can actually play guitar and I can actually make music with this.
Yeah.
Now I want to do it with other people. And I think I was 19. I started jamming with a group of guys for the first time. And here I am 19 years later, still doing the same thing.
Always will be. So.
Right.
It's funny too, because I actually have had that conversation with Craig, our guitar player, where I said, like, this band is kind of my last hurrah, so to speak. This band is my last shot at doing something meaningful. And if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do, as far as music is concerned. He goes, shut up. You're always going to play music. That's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard anyone say.
Yeah.
I'll probably
You'll just join an Alice in Chains cover band.
Yeah, I would do something. I'd be singing Down in a Hole on my deathbed.
Right.
It's just hard. But it's one of those things when you think about, okay, this is it. It's not it, but it is those chapters, that you go through.
That's how I'd want to go out singing.
It's really cool because I've never seen any. Yeah. I've never seen any other form of anything, art or otherwise, that is so intertwined with somebody's just makeup like this.
Yeah.
You know, like football players, they all talk about it. They're you know, baseball players, hockey players, all of them. They all talk about how, you know, what am I going to do after this? After this, you never hear a musician say, "What am I going to do after I'm done playing music?" It
Right.
never happens.
Yeah.
And I think that is really cool. It's like this little secret society that we're all in.
It is.
I
It's
like
like
it.
a different language. It's a different language because
Yeah.
most people get
Well, it
music,
is.
but it really is like it's just a whole separate thing and it's universal. So it's like you either get it or you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the most dominant topics that you write about when you're writing? Sure.
Is I think that some of the stuff that we're writing about, has definitely has to deal with people who are suffering from mental issues, people who feel like they don't have a voice in the crowd. We try to be that voice in a metal format, right? We have fans already who are like, you saved me, your lyrics have saved me, your music has saved me, which is like a huge, I don't know, pat on the back. I wouldn't say pat on the back, but for a better word, it kind of makes you feel like, the stuff that you're doing is meaningful, it's impactful, and it's getting to the people that need to hear it. So having said that, I hope our message is read loud and clear across the whole world, because we know this is a big issue for a lot of people, and a lot of them just feel like they don't have that voice, or they just have nobody to reach out to, and if they do, maybe it's not what they're expecting or something like that. So we try to just resonate with that, right? So that's kind of in a nutshell about the things.
The mental health is a huge, and it's a huge divider. I myself, I do a lot of teaching and kind of coaching type stuff, and we focus on becoming authentic. That way you can find out who you really are, work through your trauma and your grief and all those things. But even doing those things, the majority of the people that I see, they have these very, very heavy thoughts, and I think kind of universally it's thought that these are abnormal thoughts. But then the more that you talk to people, the more you realize actually most people have these heavy, dark thoughts. It's just no one talks about it or brings space for people to talk about it. So it's thought that something's wrong. And so that's what it really drew me to y'all's music when I started listening to it as well, just because I've had that moment where someone says, like, you called me right before I did something I shouldn't have. And it's not like it makes you feel like I did that. It humbles you because you're like, all the experiences that I've gone through now mean something because I was able to help someone else. And so I feel that so much on it. Is there certain experiences that have guided you guys personally or through, I guess, have you lost friends? I'm just going to openly ask that because I've lost several friends, and my friends have lost friends through unalivement and through suicide.
Right. Yeah, I've definitely had more than a couple of friends of mine, end their own lives because of situations they were in where they didn't feel like they were able to help themselves or get out of what they had going on. And they felt like, well, if this is where my life is going to end up, then I don't want to be a part of it anymore. And I really hate, I can't say I hate that mentality. Because there's so many different ways that you could reach out for help now. Whether you're suffering from depression, you have suicidal thoughts, there's so many different people you can reach out to and places you can go to that are more than willing to help you get out of whatever situation you're in, whether it's just you need someone to talk to, you need someone to actually physically step in and help you with whatever you need. The possibilities of being able to resolve whatever you have going on are they're out there. People just need to understand that there are people willing to be up to help you with the situations that you're in. And I know that for me personally, I've had a couple of situations where I'm like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get out of this. I don't know how I'm going to make anything better. And for me, most of the time, just being able to like do this with my band,
Yeah.
just being able to play music and just knowing that I have other people that we all are going to go in and just say, okay, we're going to here to have fun today. We're just going to go in. We're just going to play music as loud as we can, as hard as we can. We're all going to scream our hearts out. And when all of that's done and over with it for the night, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
And a lot of times where I've had nights where I'm like, God damn it, I don't know how I'm going to make any of this better. I go in, I play drums or I play guitar really loud for a while, and I feel better.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what? I want to be able to keep doing this right here, and I can't do this if I do something stupid.
Yeah. It's that sinking in that hole. I call it their cave. I love my cave. I love to be sad and go in my cave, but just don't stay there very long. And I think so many times people get caught up in it. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to get out, I think.
Right.
Can I be a little bit upset with you, Miss Kitty,
Sure.
for a second, please? I hate when people say the phrase unalived. For me,
Yeah.
as impactful as the event is, the word should equal it.
Yeah.
And there should be a word for it.
Yeah.
And it's been something that I've dealt with my whole life. I've got, 3 attempts, and thankfully at this point, no successes.
Yeah.
But being able to talk about it and being able to write about it, being able to do what I do as far as the songs that we write and things like that. But it even goes beyond that. Like, I've had people talk to me about some of the songs that we write, and they're like, that is such an awesome viewpoint of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually get pissed off when people talk about it, how it's the coward's way out. It bothers the hell out of me. And so to hear, that other guys in my band and have been through the same thing, and that for me is the most important thing, is I have this group of people around me who, whether or not they know it, have saved my life at this point. It's awesome, actually.
That's amazing. And thank you for saying that. Going forward, that will change I always say that to be gentle with so many people, but you're right on that. So I appreciate you saying that, because it is, I've lost so many people, and it's such a gentle topic, but it's not, so I appreciate you saying that.
That to me is kind of the same problem. It's a mental health issue. We don't talk about autism or Tourette's or bipolar disorder or anything like that about it in a gentle way.
Right.
But we talk about suicide and say the damn word. Say it, because it means something, and it means something to the people who have survived, and it means something. It very, very well means something to the people who have lost someone to it. So say it.
Yeah. Thank you. You changed me just there. Thank you. So, and I think that we'll probably continue talking a little bit about this through, because I have some songs I want to ask you about, if you don't mind discussing them with me. Is that okay?
Always.
Okay. So I dug into the album, and I've actually listened to the album, I don't know, for the past 3 days, just on straight and going through them. And I go through like really like digging into like the snaky voice. Like, I call it snaky because it's like, I just really, really like it. But then you get behind it, and there's this impactful, verbiage that's there behind it. And again, I have lost some people to suicide, and I work with so many people that struggle with it consistently, from it being bipolar disorder, and actually just everything. Like, it doesn't matter what you want to call it. They struggle.
It can literally be anything.
It's with
you
anything.
Can have there are people who just had a bad day at work, and they go home and commit suicide.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make them weak. It doesn't make them anything. Right. It just makes them, at that particular moment, I call it a fit of rage type of
Yeah.
a situation. And
yeah, yeah, and it's I don't know if you're comfortable talking about this, but I do love the argument of this. So many people say it's selfish and it's weak and it's all these things.
and then
And
people go fuck themselves. Sorry if
no, you're good.
I don't know what the rules are for a
There's
podcast.
not rules. No, there's not rules. Well, I mean, I don't know I don't care. Like, I want real, right? I want you to
No,
talk
then
about
people
it.
can
Yeah.
go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Seriously. Anybody who says that it's a moment of weakness, I'll tell you something that I've always said. And I'm sorry if I'm kind of bogarting the conversation, but I've told you something that I've always said about people who are in that mentality. When you are in that mentality, when you are in the lowest of the low, and you are not only contemplating, you are gonna do it. That type of a situation, you legitimately think it is a mental illness, that you legitimately think that everybody else around you is going to be better if you're gone. It's the least selfish act that you can do, because you are doing it for everyone else. You actually sit down and mathematically almost go through, this person will be better off. My kids will be better off. They'll remember me not as a piece of shit. They're going to remember me as a strong person. And while this moment is sad, they're going to remember these. The people in my life that I love are going to remember strength, and that's going to help them. It's not selfish. It's not.
Yeah. The people I've spoken with are like, when I was thinking about it, I was tired of being a burden on people. You know, that's always something that they say. I don't want to be a burden on someone. And that, I get that. And then I just wanted, like, the things to stop, like the repeat of things to stop. It's not ever something that I've ever heard anyone say, I'm doing this to hurt all these other people.
Yeah.
It's really not anything about that. And so the argument that people have, and I hear it all the time, like, it's just the
coward's way out. The coward's way out. If I hear somebody say that around me, I'm going to kick them in the teeth.
I mean,
it's the stupidest argument in the history of the world to me.
Yeah.
Not the religion, but never mind.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I get down there too. But yeah, no, I do appreciate that viewpoint, because I do hear that a lot. And it is that argument that I try to make, you know, on social media and with the people that I'm working with. They've been told that their whole lives, don't do this because I will have to do this. And it's like, you're not understanding like the problem with it. So I did dig in, and like I said, I listened to the album on repeat, and it was just really impactful for me. It brought forth so many different emotions and realizations with going through it. The first song that really got me, and I sent to one of my close friends, and she really does struggle immensely with the song. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it Survive?
No, but that is one of them. That's the second one I sent. So I sent her, though, I sent Possessed, because she struggles with what?
I've never heard that before. I'm intrigued.
Oh, well, so she struggles, and she's actually asked, I'm going back and forth. So I sent this to her because I thought of her whenever I heard it. And so I love the fact that you say that too, because it shows that whatever's behind the song doesn't necessarily translate to everybody in the same way. And so she struggles with a lot of past substance abuse and a lot of, you know, I don't want to be like you and the family and different things like that. And so this song, I know, is hugely impactful on her and for her mental health. So that being said, do you mind sharing what that song's about? And I do have actually the next one. Survive is my next one I was going to ask about.
Survive is blatantly obvious, but Possessed actually is it's a religious song. And it's about letting like negative thoughts in. And so if you listen to the way that I wrote that song vocally, there's two different sides to it. There's a very aggressive side to it, and there's kind of a charming, I call it,
more charming side to it. And the charming side is supposed to be like the serpent trying to get you to take a bite of the apple type of a situation, trying to let them negative thoughts in, type of a situation. And then it's that aggression back towards the anger. And I get it can be about substance abuse. The way that I write my lyrics is I just kind of shut the hell up and write.
Yeah.
And then whatever comes out, I turn that into, if I happen to be writing about depression, if I happen to be writing about love, anger, I write about all of the important emotions, which are all of those. Love can fuck off. It really can. I don't write very many love songs, I'm sorry. But the majority of the songs that we're going to write about are going to be about substance abuse. They're going to be about a struggle with religion. They're going to be about a struggle with yourself. They're going to be about a struggle with depression. They're going to be about substance abuse. They're going to be about all of those different things. So all of these different things that I've battled with my whole life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to write about. And that's kind of what Possessed is. It's kind of that two-headed snake, the angel on each one of your shoulders, angel and devil type of a situation. That's what Possessed is. It's kind of like, hey, come over here, and no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Did
you grow up in a spiritual household? Spiritual, religious?
I grew up in a spiritual household.
Okay.
My mom is extremely religious, and my dad was not.
Okay.
But I really want to be religious. Like it's something that I've always been fascinated by. It's something that comes out in the writing and the music and everything like that. So I listen to some of the stuff that them guys write, and I listen to it, and I hear like church hymnals, almost borderline in what they write.
Yeah.
And I'm this, I could picture an entire church singing along to this music, and it would sound really cool, and it kind of affects the way that I write.
Right. That's I like that a lot. I grew up in a church.
He disappeared.
Where'd he go? In a church household myself. So for me, I think I say spiritual and religious. I think for me, they're two different things, because I'm a very spiritual person, but I am not going to be like dictator on what everybody does. But it is ultimately always a battle between, even within ourselves. I think that the light and the dark, or however, you want to view it.
Well, if you look at the, hold on, I'm trying to balance my drink there. If you look at that, that's the serpent and the dove. That's our kind of our mascot,
our emblem.
Emblem,
yeah.
Our emblem.
Yes.
And it is literally the serpent and the dove, and they're both fighting each other. You got good versus evil is in every single person. I don't need religion to tell me to be a good person.
Yeah.
I swear to God, though, I wish that I could have that blind faith that a religious person has, just to shut my fucking brain off and follow. And I don't have it. And luckily for me, I'm with a group of guys who also don't have it. It's great for me. The ability to be able to question, like, where does this feeling come from? What actually, let's dig down to it. Let's not just pass it off on a religious aspect. Let's actually dig down and find out what the hell's wrong with you. Type of a situation, not just go, that's God's way.
No, and I think that that's so right, because and I talk about this openly a lot, because I don't really care what people believe. I think it's all kind of interconnected for myself, but it is that when you start doing the self-reflection and looking at your emotions and trying to heal, you're not just, say, praying it away or giving it away. You're kind of taking some accountability. You're starting to try to heal yourself, I think. And I think that can be impactful for everybody in different ways.
There's, for me, a little bit of that.
Mhm.
For me, the way that you feel has less to do with self accountability and more in holding everyone else around you accountable
Mhm.
for how you feel. If you will take Joe, for example, if Joe makes me feel like shit every time that I'm around Joe,
Yeah.
and I allow Joe to be around me all the time, I have to take personal accountability for that fact.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that it's almost a race to the finish line
Mhm.
of where you can kind of delineate the lines of delineation or whatever, where you can find what is causing your problem before you actually, take that last step,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of fucked up, and love you, Joe.
I love you.
See, Baker's always getting me, right?
I had to use him as an example because he's the least confrontational human being that I know.
Is he the tree of the band? Are you the grounding point of the band?
I don't know if he's the tree, but he's definitely the ray of sunshine in the band room. If we have an argument,
Yeah, I would not argue with that.
Yeah.
The ray of sunshine, and
he is absolutely correct with that part. Yes.
That's
I think that we have failed as songwriters and musicians as of late in actually writing for ourselves that other people can connect with.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to talk about everyone wants to talk about like all the problems that they have. Everyone nowadays, music on the radio can kiss my ass,
Right.
because all it talks about is sexual in nature and all of that different type of stuff. And for me, it's never been like that. But Survive is kind of like a, hey, I made it through.
Mhm.
And this is going to happen to you too. And there aren't enough songs like that.
Mhm.
And not enough songs about, this is your mental issue. And no matter what it is, it doesn't matter if you didn't like your shoes that day and you want to go home and kill yourself because someone made fun of you.
Mhm.
We don't actually acknowledge it anymore, and we don't acknowledge it in our music. And when you go back to, I think it stopped in like the early 2000s, it's like, oh, you can't say that
Yeah.
because that's going to make people feel a certain way.
Yeah.
I mean, Pearl Jam came out with a song called Jeremy where it talked about school shootings.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. They were talking about a thing that was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about it. And people, no one talks about it. People hear about somebody who's suicidal.
Mhm.
They hear about somebody who has bipolar disorder. They have whatever the mental issue is that they have going. And it doesn't even have to be a serious mental issue. This guy's, psychotic, or this guy's, narcissistic personality disorder, and he hates himself, and he's bipolar. He's got multiple personality
Whatever
disorder.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're quick to talk about what people might have,
Mhm.
but shut up and listen. Shut up and listen to the person who's talking to you.
Yeah.
Every single person in my band that I am in this band with has sat on the stoop of the room and listened to me just rant about how fucking bad my life is in that given moment.
Mhm.
And then what you actually learn is you learn strength. You learn these are the type of people that I need to surround myself with. I need to surround myself with more people like Mike. I need to surround myself with more people like Joe. I need to surround myself with more people like Craig. And then you do. And then you start to deal with less problems.
Yeah.
And it matters.
I love
Sorry.
hearing that. No, you're good. You're good. I love hearing you say that, because I say the same things to the people, you know, that are around me that are struggling. And I had such a hesitancy, like I had such a call for a long time to do a podcast like this. And I was like, I really want to start it. And I really want to talk to bands that write music about things that happen in their life or that have impacted them. But then you go and you start learning that a lot of times it's not necessarily written about stuff that's happened to them, which is fine. There's a lot of music. God help us on some of the like crazy songs about the sexual stuff and all that stuff. Like, we hope it's not always about stuff that's happened to
Shake
you.
it. That is my
Right?
least favorite fucking phrase in any song that's ever been written.
Right.
Shake it.
And so it's just, it's very, it sounds funny. It makes my heart very full to hear and talk to people, and you guys coming on and just being very authentic and just talking about it, because it gives me faith in just humans, right? That you're out there and that you're doing it and you've had your own struggles, and to be able to impact one person and maybe make them feel less of that darkness that maybe somebody has felt before, I think is always the name of what I want to do. But you just come on and been so raw and like vulnerable with everything, and I love it because it's not found. It's just not. And so when you talk about it, it's not out there anymore. And we
I will tell you, it's selfish. You want to talk about selfish, or people want to talk about suicide as being selfish. I will be selfish every second of the day when it comes to talking about surviving suicide. I will take over every single conversation, every single one that I have, and tell people about what worked for me. And what worked for me is music. You know, I have 4 kids, and as much as I want to say that those 4 kids saved my life, and they made my life undeniably better. Mm-hmm. But the ability for me to say what was actually going on inside of my brain saved my life. And this band, or music in general, or art in general, just gave me that ability to be able to say it. And sometimes you just have to fucking say it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, I kind of have the same thoughts about that as Aaron does, as far as, you know, playing music and that being something that's helped you get through all of the crazy stuff that life is thrown at you, and sometimes being the reason you're able to get through that stuff. And you know, I'm really not a lyricist. I don't write lyrics. I don't sing anymore. I did previous bands, but that's not my thing anymore. I just like to play music. But I know Aaron, Joe, and Craig have all listened to some of the music that I've written, and you know, especially some of the guitar riffs that I've written, and the lyrics that Aaron has put to them really sum up exactly how I was feeling and what I was thinking when I was writing that stuff. So when, you know, we all get together and I say, you know, here's my guitar stuff, and Aaron starts putting the words to it, I'm like, dude, that's exactly what I was thinking when I started writing this stuff. So this is coming out perfectly. Like the song Not Looking For, the one that we're hopefully getting to release here in the next week or so. I wrote a majority of the guitar in that song, and all of the lyrics that Aaron put to it is exactly what I was thinking and how I was feeling when I was writing that stuff. So the fact that we were able to come up with that as easily as we did, like, speaks volumes to, you know, how we all think as not only individuals but collectively as a band, and how we all work so well together. And you know, for me, it's been like probably the best experience as far as music I've ever had in my life.
I love you too, man.
What, so while we're on the topic, I'm sorry if I'm taking up too much time. I just think this is
Hey,
super
I got all
important.
night.
Okay, I love this. I really do love it. So
I said, I don't have to work until 4:30 tomorrow morning. I'm good.
okay.
I don't have to work till Thursday. I win.
for,
Shut up.
for Mike, when you say that you wrote something and Aaron brought in lyrics and it was like he heard you, can you just talk about, and everybody can have a chance to talk about it, but can you talk about how it makes you feel when someone else is able to say the things that you've just kind of kept in there? Because I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about jumping on here and doing this and like picking brains and stuff on it, is because I think when someone else hears, oh, Aaron is the singer and he has this, or Mike has struggled with this, so I guess it's okay that I am too. And I think that if there was more of that, that it would be less. But how does that make you feel when you run into someone that kind of gets what you've gone through or has the verbiage to express it?
Um, it makes me feel really good, to just put it simply. I really appreciate the fact that I can, have all of this stuff in my head up here, but I don't know how to put it on paper and pen. And what I put out musically, Aaron is able to figure out what I'm thinking and he can write it. And then when I can hear him sing it while we're playing it and I hear what he's saying, I just sit there and go, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And I'm so glad that you picked up on that when I was putting all of this music together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels really good to be able to hear it. Even if I'm not the one specifically writing it, I know that he knows what I'm thinking and he's able to put it out there for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's important. I think it's important.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Joe?
Actually, yeah, because I was glad that we were kind of talking about this, because this is why I think Reject the Silence is a very unique band, is because we all have unique experiences, and
Damn it.
and we can. You're out of coffee. You better go grab some.
I'll be good.
I got whiskey.
But for me personally, I'm just kind of like to touch on what you guys were saying earlier about Joe being the ray of sunshine, or being the tree and the rock and whatnot. Is from my
No one
experience.
said the rock, you son of a bitch.
Well, I'm making myself a rock.
Bass players, they got to make themselves look good.
That's right. We are the solid foundation of the band. So, but just kind of touching on that, just from my experiences when I was growing up, I've seen a lot of stuff that kids shouldn't see. My parents were heavy into drugs when I was young, and just a lot of stuff that shouldn't have gone through. But in having those experience and drawing off of those, I kind of decided a long time ago that, I don't want to take the approach of being a Machiavellian type person, or someone who takes a draconian approach to things, right? And the reason why I am the way I am is because, I feel for me, it's easier to deal with situations when I take more of I don't want to say passive aggressive approach, but I'm a good listener, if you haven't kind of picked that out yet. But for me personally, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put into words. It's more like
That's why I let Aaron do it.
That's right. That's how I'm glad we have someone like Aaron in the band who can, bring the voice out, right? And he knows what to say and how to say it. I've often found myself, it's better for me to deal with things that, I'm not looked at as like some kind of asshole or something, like, oh, he's an asshole. If I was that person, I would not be in this band today, because, I don't think I would really be anywhere for that matter.
There's only room for 3 assholes in this band. And
yeah, right.
Sorry you came on later.
But for me, musically, I think, we're all a good match, because, we bring a certain amount of aggressiveness to the mix. And Aaron, being the lyricist that he is, I'm more on the musical side of things. I hear music. I like to just write it. And I look forward to bringing a lot of great things to the band because I am still the baby of the band. I was the last one to join. So just
Little Joe.
little Joe, little big Joe.
Anyone who listens to your podcast can go out and get a group of fucking friends who hang out twice a week and just have focused joy. And that's what we do. And that's
fun with a purpose.
What we,
right.
You know, like the most stressful day in my life is show day. And I know I'm not the only one in the band. Like, I wish that we could just get through every show that we play.
Yeah.
And get to the actual meat and potatoes of the song itself. So people can hear the actual song. You know, we get off stage and we talk about like, oh, you fucked up.
That's so fun. That's so fun.
You know, we've 9 songs in a night and we're like, you fucked up on that 3rd song. I remember.
That is great. Not
And
gonna let you forget it.
Yeah. And but if all of us could just go, you know, I wrote this song and I enjoy playing this song and I'm doing this with my best friends.
Yeah.
And legitimately, they are my best friends. I hang out with them more than any human being that I hang out with in any other aspect of my life. And that's great. Yeah. Go and fucking do that. Every single person should go and do that. Find somebody. I don't care if it's, we like to dig up seashells on the seashore with Sally.
Yeah.
How long have you been waiting to break that one out?
Quite a while. It's coming in.
Yeah. Cultivating joy is a big topic, and it's people don't realize how precious that is, you know, when it's all said and done, because when you have it, sometimes you miss it. But once you know you have it, you don't want to lose it. You just want to, I say, be 5 years old is what I say. Like, if I could just be 5 and laugh until my stomach hurts with my people and enjoy, it's just not appreciated enough in the world, and it's hard to find. So when you find it, and it seems like you guys have found that.
Yeah, that's how I feel, you know, whenever we go out and we play shows. I feel like I'm that little kid that's just learning how to be good at his instrument again and getting so excited that I finally know what I'm doing. You know, every time we go out and play shows and I get to hear people cheer for what we're doing, you know, that whole feeling of why I wanted to do this in the first place comes back again.
Yep.
Yeah. And the people that know you on some of your hardest and darkest times, and they're still there and still playing 5 years old, or just being there with you and still loving you and supporting you in the ways that they can. So that's
right.
I love that you guys appreciate each other.
The greatest thing is that, like, I don't play any show to impress anyone in the crowd. Mm-hmm. I play every single show to not disappoint the 3 other dudes who are in the band.
If someone is struggling, or it's a friend, or anyone, even not a friend, and they're struggling and they came to you, what are some words of wisdom or advice that you could give to them that have helped you, that may help them?
Don't be afraid to look for help. It's out there and it's definitely attainable, and it will definitely help you get through whatever it is that you're going through. Don't just sit on it and hope that it's going to get better. Do whatever you need to do to find a way out of whatever it is that you're going through in life.
Absolutely. I definitely second that, because I with my employer, I get to have the privilege of working with several groups that specialize in, especially one is called NAMI. You might have heard of it.
Yes.
National Mental Illness. And I actually get to talk to those guys all the time, and they just do amazing things for people who are, you know, struggling. So I you know, if someone came to me and said, and I'm just kind of picking up that vibe that, you know, they're in a dark place and they really need to help and they're just not sure how to talk about it, I would be like, hey, you know, I know some people that can help you. I have resources for you. Let's go talk to somebody. I'll go with you if you want.
Yeah.
I'll, if that's what it comes down to, I can definitely be that person that will open that door for them if they're afraid to go through it. So that's kind of like where I'm at with that. I always want to help people who are, just down on their luck. Maybe they're struggling financially, mentally, or whatever the case may be. And I'd be like, I do know people that can help you, and they do amazing things. So just, I'll go with you if you want. So.
Yeah, no, I think sometimes people don't, they seclude themselves and don't ask for help. Sometimes it is because they don't want to go alone and they feel like they're alone. So I do think that's, yeah. Aaron?
I would like to preface what I'm about to say by saying, first off, surround yourself with people who actually understand what you're going through, people who you can actually talk to, people who you feel comfortable talking to. See, what every single person in this band that I've surrounded myself in has helped me immensely, like in a way that not even other people in the band know. And that's incredible. You need that person to talk to. And if you only have one person, go out and get another. And if you only have two people, go out and get another. If you only have three people, go out and get another. Build your army against whatever it is that's going on in your head to fight that, because you can't do it yourself. We're all weak. We're all cowards when it comes to that type of a situation. People want to call it a, coward's way out or whatever. We're all cowards. I challenge the person who says they took the cowardly way out to go through what I've gone through, to go through what Mike's gone through, to go through what Joe's gone through, to go through what Craig's gone through. I fucking literally challenge you. Gauntlet laid.
Yeah.
When the last,
I hate that game.
You know what I'm saying? The last person that I want to talk to is the person that knows me the best.
Yeah.
But those people are the people that know you best. And those people are the people who are going to help you through whatever it is that you're going through. Right. I've had to lean on my bandmates. They're my brothers. I've had to lean on them. Fucking find you some people that you can lean on. And then when you are given the opportunity for them to lean on you, take it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. It is a strength upon strength upon strength.
Yeah.
Fucking do it. And that is the biggest problem, is the people who are closest to you are the people who don't know you as much as they probably should know you.
It's true.
Right.
I will lean on Mike. I'll lean on Joe, and I'll lean on Craig, and I would hope to God that they would lean on me the same fucking way.
I have admiration for you guys and how you treat each other and the respect that you have for each other's differences and your things that are the same as well. And just, you can just see the true compassion and love that you guys have for each other. Is there anything else you guys would like to share?
Well, to equate that, because we haven't talked very much about him.
Okay.
Our guitar player, Craig.
Oh yeah, Craig.
Right? To talk about like just the mentality of how caring and giving a person can be. Craig's a dick. Let's not get that like let's get that out the way.
He's not here to defend himself. Wait.
He is.
He would agree with you,
very opinionated, and that's something that is Craig. But I knew Craig for 6 months, right? And all through text messaging and emails. And then I was split up and homeless and needed a place to stay.
Mm.
And Craig told me I could come and live at his house, rent free. Just come and hang out. And, you know, I've got this extra room that I'm not using. Those are the type of people that you need to surround yourself with. And when I asked him why he did it, he said, other people have done it for me. The opportunity came up. I'm going to do it for you too.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
that's kind of what it's about. It's not just about like going out and finding help. It's not just about going out and making yourself better. It's also about when the opportunity comes for you to help, you need to stand the fuck up.
Yeah,
Help that person.
Right.
I know.
And every single person in this band has helped me at different points. Whether it's letting me crash on their couch or sending me fucking money so I can get a tire on my car, whatever the fucking case may be, they've helped me. And I pray to God that the situation, like the whole reason why I'm even still here is so that I can help them out when they actually need help. And I'm hoping you guys do eventually.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't, but I'm glad you're there if I
He's
do.
banking on it. Give him. He needs to help
I'm
you.
hoping it aligns correctly.
Oh, well.
You know, like these are my brothers. I'd fucking die for them.
Yeah.
And I would. And you hear people say that, oh, I'd die for him. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. And I'm even what I'm saying right now, I probably wouldn't. But I would definitely like, you know, take a shot in the thigh.
Take a shot.
I would try
While I'm
really
running.
hard.
I would definitely get in front of somebody throwing a basketball at you.
100%. If someone's talking shit about you, I'm the first person there telling them, hey, don't do that. Oh, he's got a gun. Say whatever you want.
Yeah. Oh. Well, it was good to meet you guys. And
Yeah, you too.
I really appreciate the conversation. And if you guys are up for it when you have the new album come out, I would love to have you on. I really want to continue holding space and opening the door for more of the mental health and suicide awareness. And
Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome. And just holding space for those things that no one else wants to talk about. Because when we can do that, I feel like it can change someone. And if it changes one person, I guess that's definitely better than not helping.
If we can help one person, then we've done our job.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Authentic Life with KL, where we explore the powerful intersection of healing and music. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give a follow and share with your friends. You can find more information about The Authentic Life with KL and Kitty Lynne at kittylynne.com, KITTYLYNNE.com. Thanks so much for listening.